they're suggesting things that I say and do that are pretty much what I normally say and do. So it's like, it's annoying, but it's kind of not as annoying. It was really annoying when they were suggesting all sorts of weird stuff. Um, as I'm going through the magazine, I said I'm going to list this on eBay. Please, again, check out the items I have on sale at eBay. I have a range of prices. I think they're, a good price for these items. A lot of items I have buy now, so you can make an offer. And I look at the offers, and, if you have a question, you can always ask before bidding. So I'm just going to keep going through the magazine and, you know, talking about magazines and talking about the gang stalking is something that is now my life. I don't know how I'll ever not talk about it. It just now has become my life. So when I'm talking to you guys about things like, love, lust, and other stuff, that's kind of why I like Cosmo and why I like to talk about things. So there will be people who won't like what I talk about, and for those who don't, I understand. I'm not offended. They said, well, they're going to have the gang stalkers, we're going to have a sit down with you. I'm a 49-year-old woman. You don't have to have a sit down with me. We're both at the stages. I think when I say the gang stalkers and I are at the stage where we don't like each other and we don't need to sit down with one another. It's okay. So they said at night, they tell me quietly that they dislike me. You don't have to tell me quietly that you dislike me. I tell you loudly that I dislike you. So we don't have to sit down. We don't have to arrange things. They said, well, they thought I should take care of people. Okay. I thought that maybe I should take care of my health first before I can take care of anything, let alone people who are able-bodied enough and have the technology to gang stalk, make people sick, bang all day, drill, play sounds, music. Now they're playing some beat. They said that this was some sort of music that they played before. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand if they have the means to do this and they obviously have the means to live here. Why should I take care of them? That isn't the answer. I've never gotten the answer to that. So instead of creating AI and cloning me, they should answer that. What is it in them that is so deficient that they need a 49-year-old woman to take care of them? What is wrong with you? What is it in your life that you cannot do for yourself that you expect someone else to do for you? And that's my point to these folks. If you wanted to create AI, instead of stealing my personality, stealing what I say, stealing my stuff, stealing my time, stealing my energy, stealing my health, you should have done something positive to make sure that you don't have to steal. People would willingly be a part of your life if you were the type of person that people wanted to be around. And that's what I'm telling these folks. It's really less about me and more about them. And I think as a victim of this, and when I listen to other victims, I think we all say the same thing. These people seem to want to force themselves upon their victims. If we don't want you, no matter how much force you use, no means no, we don't want you. And if that's hard for them to understand, then hell, they can't make it in this world. I'm telling them, they know me enough now to know. I'm 49, I'm born and raised in the Bronx. Okay, I worked in highly competitive fields around very competitive people. You had to be able to make it. And it's tough out there. It's a tough world. Someone just wrote that to me. Things are tough out there. They sure are. And if you have to gang stalk in order to get to be around somebody, then there's a problem. And there's no sit down that's going to solve it. So they made death threats. Listen, this isn't the first time they've made death threats. And that's my point. So they said, well, this really, this kind of magazine that you've been reading, I've been reading these magazines since I was a kid. This really doesn't reflect Catholic school. Well, my life isn't supposed to reflect Catholic school. Like I said, I'm a 49-year-old woman. My life was supposed to be reflective of what my interests are. I went to Catholic school from the time I was in kindergarten, which wasn't by choice. So it wasn't like I was a 49-year-old and said, I'm choosing Catholic school. No. So my life isn't supposed to reflect Catholic school, but my life should reflect my interests. It should reflect where I've been and who I am as a human being. And if I'm interested in these types of things, that should be me being myself. Do you get what I'm saying? So as I am me, I should be taken as me for who I am. And to pretend that this isn't something I'm interested in isn't me being taken as me. Oh, I happen to be on this page. Okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested in these things. So I'm looking at all of these different things, and these are things that people talk about. So they said, well, would I be afraid that somebody would think I'm a lesbian? No. I hope the person who asked this question isn't afraid of being who she is. I hope the person who asked this question isn't afraid of being who she is. I hope the person who asked this question isn't afraid of being who she is. So they said, what about men who might like Cosmo? Good for them, but Cosmo is something that we ladies have. And that's my point. I'm not gonna pretend that there isn't a space that we as women need. It doesn't mean that men can't be invited into that space, but there must be a space for us as women. And I'm not going to give up my space as a woman because I have to sound like I'm politically correct or trying to appeal to someone else. That's not who I am. And I'm not going to become that. So here's an article. And that's my point. I think that we've gone to a place in this world where we are supposed to, as women, make room for everyone, put everyone else's needs first, and not keep our needs in the forefront. And I'm telling the world that's not who I want to be. And I'm not going to pretend that that's who I ever wanted to be. They were offended because I chose not to have children. There's a reason. I don't want to be a mother. And that's my choice. I don't care if Catholic school cares or not. And that's my point. So now let's go back to the magazine. So here. So this person wrote an article and it says names